Small details that made Colin McRae Rally a classic game. Now, one thing to remember with this game is a lot of these great details were actually realized when the game was released in 1998, and although rallying games have come a long way since then, were really fantastic for that time. It may seem small and simple, but the mud splatter factor in the original Colin McRae was a really cool little detail. I remember myself buying the demo disc of this game and enjoying that effect so much, led for me to play the game proper. And I even looked out for the stages where this effect was prevalent, such as New Zealand and later in the game the United Kingdom. Indeed, the later Colin McRae series was rebranded as the Dirt series, and the latest game as of this video, Dirt Rally 2, still bears that moniker. Another great detail in the Colin McRae Rally was the fully endorsed appearance of the late great Colin McRae and his co-driver Nicky Grist. This was one of the first to have the co-driver dynamic. As a lot of people know, this educated a heck of a lot of people about how rally drivers get around the course. You know, they have to go out and scout with their co-driver. I think the scenery was a very important factor. There's even rally games that are out now that still don't have particularly creative or interesting scenery. The tight and twisty section through a quarry, to in Australia getting big air over huge jumps alongside a stationary train before finding a gap in the train and making a sharp right, to the farms of Great Britain and the ski chalets of Monte Carlo. Scenery in this game was one of the things that made it stand out visually, and one of the most varied locations in the game is definitely the UK, where Barningham Village is featured, and Kielder Forest, which is a real location. And the things that I recognise, all, if you live in the UK especially, you will recognise all our unique road signs that are on view here, which just attention to detail there. The developers didn't have to put that in. Other things such as hay bales, some lovely old trees, and fabulous dry stone walls that are synonymous with the UK. And I even like the brilliant farm trail section, which is thin and really hard to do without hitting the sides. It's kind of like a little deviation to a wipeout or something, where the course literally just closes in on you. Things like that are really subtle things, but they really help. And the whole look and feel with all these little cottages and villages and stuff, this is just beautiful developing. It also featured rather amusing shrubs of steel, which were basically bushes and bits of brush that were made by presumably thin reinforced steel, because when the car hits them you can stop dead on occasion. And likewise the ticker tape, the stakes and tape around the outside. Of course, in more recent rally games generally you'll go through this tape, not so in the original Colin McRae. The variety and variation of courses is really well done in this game, and it was one of the first times that I ever came across being able to mechanically edit your car. You have different contrasting styles, like in Sweden where less is more, Australia where you pretty much don't hit the brake, and then finally the difficult Great Britain where you just do what you can to get a good result. And no rally game is complete without satisfying jumps, and the first Colin McRae nailed these already. Let's check out a couple to end this compilation.